You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. This is July in Review, a look at how each team did in the month of July, and there will be an announcement of Players of the Month from the month of July coming up at the end of this video. But starting with the Baltimore Orioles, they had the worst July record among AL East teams. They went 7-17. They started off doing well, but you see there, the second to last week of July, they lost 7 games in a row. Matter of fact, 9 games in a row, but they had a whole week where they didn't win a single game. Right now, the Orioles are 5th in the AL East with a 42-68 record. The Red Sox went 14-10 in the month of July. They've evened out to a 55-55 overall record, and they're 3rd in the AL East. They're still not close to a wild card spot right now. They're 8.5 games back. The New York Yankees went 16-7 this month. 67-42 is their overall record, and they remain in first place in the AL East. The Rays had a decent month. They went 12-10 in the month of July with a 54-55 overall record to show for it at the end of the month. They're also 4th in the AL East. And the Toronto Blue Jays had an off month. They went 12-13 in July. They're 61-49 overall, 2nd in the AL East, and they're 2.5 games back of a wild card spot at the end of the month. Moving on to the AL Central, the White Sox went 13-11 in the month of July. Their record is 64-46 overall. They're 2nd in the AL Central, and they lead the wild card standings right now in the American League by a half game. The Indians went 11-13 in the month of July. 60-50 is their overall record at the end of the month. They're 3rd in the AL Central, and they're 3.5 games back of the second wild card spot. The Tigers had a pretty good month. They've bounced back, at least from months past. They're 14-12, or they went 14-12 in the month of July. Their overall record is 48-63, and they're 4th in the AL Central. The Royals had the worst month of any team in baseball, the worst July month. 5-19 was their July record. They have the worst overall record in Major League Baseball right now. 35-75 is their record at the end of July overall, and they're 5th in the AL Central. And the Twins, keeping pace with themselves, 17-8 was their July record. They're 76-35 overall. They're 1st in the AL Central, and why I say they're keeping pace with themselves is because they have the best record in baseball right now, 76-35. In the AL West, the Los Angeles Angels did not have a great month. You see the final 2 weeks, they won just 3 games. 8-18 was their July record. 49-62 is their overall record at the end of the month, and they are 3rd in the AL West. The Oakland Athletics had a pretty decent month, 14-10 July record. They're 67-43 overall, and they are still leading the AL West. The Mariners had a great month for their standards. Their July record was 15-9, and that's allowed them to tie the Rangers for 4th place in the AL West. They're 45-66. And as mentioned, the Rangers also have a 45-66 overall record. Their July record was 10-14. And the Astros had a good month. 16-9 was their July record. They're 63-46 overall, 2nd in the AL West to the Athletics. And the Astros also have the second wild card spot as of right now. They're a half game back of the White Sox. Moving to the National League East, the Atlanta Braves went 13-11 in the month of July. Their overall record is 59-51, which is good for 3rd in the NL East, and it's a close race in the NL East. The Braves are tied for 2nd in wild card standings, and they're a half game back of the Marlins, who have the top wild card spot. And speaking of the Marlins, they also had a pretty good month. The Marlins went 14-11 in the month of July. They're 60-51 overall. They're 2nd in the NL East, and they have the top wildcard spot by a half game. The Nationals had an off month for their standards. 12-13 was their July record. They're 63-48. They still have the first place spot in the NL East, but the Braves and Marlins are catching up to them. The Mets went 10-14 in the month of July. 49-60 is their overall record, and they're still in last place in the NL East. And the Phillies went 14-12, 54-57 is their overall record. They're 4th in the NL East, and they had a great end to July. You see there, they won 6 of 7 games in the second to last week. They also won 4 games in the final week moving into August, but one of the big series that they had, that they won and swept, was the series against the Washington Nationals from July the 20th to July the 23rd, and that helped the Braves and the Marlins out because the Nationals weren't winning games at that point, which allowed the Braves and Marlins to catch up, and now it's a tighter race for the NL East division lead. Moving to the NL Central, the Chicago Cubs had a hot month. They went 14-10, and part of those 14 wins included 4, which accumulated a sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals, who are right now leading the NL Central. But you see the series from July the 23rd to July the 26th saw the Cubs pull off a 4-game series sweep. The Cubs have a 58-52 overall record. They're second in the NL Central, and they're a game back of the second wildcard spot in the National League. The Cincinnati Reds evened out to a 12-12 July record. They're 46-64 overall, and they're 4th in the NL Central. The Milwaukee Brewers went 9-16 in the month of July. They had a worse winning percentage in the month than the Pittsburgh Pirates did, but Brewers 49-60 overall. They're still 3rd in the NL Central. The Pirates went 9-15 in the month of July. They're 41-68 overall, and they're still in last place in the NL Central. And as previously mentioned, the Cardinals are still in first in the NL Central with a 64-48 overall record, and they went 15-11 in the month of July. Now, they did get swept by the Cubs in a 4-game series from the 23rd to the 26th, but the following series, it was a 4-game series against the Brewers, which they swept, and that allowed them to gain a lead over the Cubs in the NL Central and remain in first place. Moving to the National League West, the Arizona Diamondbacks won 11-13 in the month. They're 59-51 overall, second in the NL West, and they're tied for the second wild card spot, and they trail the Marlins by a half game. The Diamondbacks are the team tied with the Braves for the second wild card spot right now in the National League. The Colorado Rockies won 11-14. They're 45-65 overall, and they're 4th in the NL West. The Los Angeles Dodgers went 14-11 in the month of July. Their overall record is 73-38. They're still first in the NL West, and they have the second best record in Major League Baseball. The San Diego Padres went 15-11. They're 59-52 overall. They're 3rd in the National League West, and they're a half game back of the second wildcard spot in the National League. And the San Francisco Giants won 11-14 in the month of July. They're 43-67 overall, and they're still in last place in the NL West. And here are the players of the month from July. Starting in the American League, pitcher of the month goes to the Athletics' Sean Manaea. He went 4-0 in 5 games pitched. He also had an earned run average of 123, and he struck out 24 batters. Player of the month goes to Red Sox first baseman Mitch Moreland. In 91 at-bats, he had a .396 average with 10 home runs and 29 RBIs. He's gotten himself on the American League batting average leaderboard with his high average from this month. And Rookie of the Month goes to Orioles third baseman Bobby Dalbec. Dalbec got traded from the Red Sox to the Rays, and then the Rays traded him to the Orioles, and now he's a Rookie of the Month, and he spent this year with 3 AL East teams. But in 65 at-bats, he had a .277 average with 6 home runs and 8 RBIs. And in the National League, Pitcher of the Month goes to Phillies starter Vince Velasquez. Velasquez went 4-0 in 5 games pitched. He had an earned run average of 142, and he struck out 24 batters. Player of the Month goes to Padres third baseman Manny Machado, who in 93 at-bats had a .409 batting average. He hit 8 long balls and drove in 32 runs. And Rookie of the Month goes to Cardinals outfielder Dylan Carlson. He made his debut directly after the All-Star break. His first game was against the Yankees, and he tore this month up. In just 41 at-bats, he had a .390 average. He hit 2 home runs and drove in 6 RBIs. This has been July in Review. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.